ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಈ 43ನೇಯ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 43rd annual general meeting of your company, Biocon Limited. The pharmaceutical and healthcare industry's fight against COVID-19 intensified over the past year as fresh waves of infection hit many countries around the world. As the pandemic left societies and economies in disarray, biotechnology-led companies quickly developed diagnostics, vaccines, and therapies to tilt the battle in favor of humanity. India has been at the forefront of this crusade, producing cost-effective vaccines at scale for millions of people, and at the same time, the country has continued to supply the world with generic and biosimilar therapies to prevent and treat non-COVID health threats such as cancer, diabetes, heart attacks, HIV infections, malaria, tuberculosis, etc. The unwavering purpose of our company to put patients first enabled us to sustain the supply of life-saving medicines worldwide. We also took up the challenge to find solutions to support India's fight against COVID-19 by leveraging our deep scientific expertise and large-scale manufacturing capabilities. From diagnostics to therapies, from testing to vaccinations, we did our best to make a meaningful difference. As we continue with our operations, we also focus on protecting our people and ensuring their health and well-being. We invested in implementing strict safety protocols and regularly engaged with our people to keep them motivated. The leadership team constantly monitored the fast evolving situation and took data-driven decisions for operational planning across our facilities. Our biosimilars business revenues at 28,000 million recorded a growth of 21% in FY21. We commercialized our third biosimilar insulin Glargine in the US and obtained regulatory approvals for key biosimilars bevacizumab and insulin aspart in the European Union. Our biosimilars have benefited over 3.1 million patients during the year. As the only company from India to have 3 biosimilars commercialized in the US and among the select few globally to have 5 biosimilars approved in Europe, we are confident of enabling affordable access to expensive biologic drugs for millions of patients globally. Our diverse portfolio of products straddling monoclonal antibodies for cancer and autoimmune diseases and RH insulin and insulin analogs for diabetes, as well as our continued commitment to quality and product safety, position us to deliver robust and enduring growth in the coming years. The market potential for biosimilars remains solid, with biologics worth $90 billion in originator sales losing exclusivity over the next decade. The confidence of investors in Biocon Biologics' growth story is reflected in the entity's post-money valuation of $4.17 billion during the last round of fundraising from Abu Dhabi-based ADQ. We have thus far raised $330 million from top-notch global investors like True North, Tata Capital Growth Fund, and Goldman Sachs. Before I move on to the rest of my address, I would like to invite my fellow board members to be introduced to all of you. With me on the dais is my husband, Mr. John Shaw, Vice Chairman and Non-Executive Director. To my left is Mr. Siddharth Mittal, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. We also have the Company Secretary, Mr. Mayank Verma. And joining us virtually are my other fellow board members, Mr. Bobby Kanubhai Parikh, Independent Director and Chairman, Audit Committee and Risk Management Committee, and also representing the Stakeholders Relationship Committee. Dr. Vijay Kachru, Independent Director. Mr. M. Damodaran, Independent Director. Professor Ravi Mazumdar, Non-Executive Director. And also joining us on the virtual platform is Mr. Indranil Sen, Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Daniel Bradbury and Ms. Mary Harney, independent directors, have asked for leave of absence, and they have both regretted their inability to join this meeting, to attend this meeting on the virtual platform. Apart from our directors, we also have BSR and Company LLP statutory auditors and V. Sridharan and Associates secretarial auditors who have joined this meeting from their respective locations. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum as per the circular issued by the MCA and Section 103 of the Companies Act 2013. As the requisite quorum is present for the annual general meeting, I call this meeting to order. Notice of the 43rd annual general meeting and the annual report for FY 2021 were sent through email to all the shareholders whose email IDs are registered with the company or the depository participants in compliance with the MCA and SEBI circulars. As the AGM notice is already circulated to the members, I take this same as read. Today, there are 7 resolutions proposed to be passed as set out in the notice of the AGM. The company has taken all necessary steps required as per the provisions of the Companies Act and circulars issued by MCA to enable the members to participate and vote on the resolutions as set forward in the notice. Members who have not cast their vote through remote e-voting and who are participating in this meeting will have the opportunity to cast their votes through the InstaPoll facility provided by KFin Technologies Private Limited. I also now request our company secretary to provide general instructions to the members regarding participation in this meeting and on casting of votes through the e-voting facility.
Thanks, Kiran. Good afternoon, all the shareholders and directors. The members may note that this meeting is being held through video conference in compliance with the provisions of Companies Act 2013 and circular issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Facility to join this meeting through video conference is being made available to all the members on the first come, first served basis. All the members are kept on mute to enable seamless conduct of the meeting. The statutory registers and documents have been made available electronically on inspection by the members during this meeting. Members who wish to seek inspection of such documents can send their request to co.secretary@biocon.com. As the meeting is being held through video conference, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members was not applicable, and hence the proxy register is not available for inspection. The company has received requests from few members to register them as a speaker at the meeting. Accordingly, the floor will be open for these members to ask their questions and express their views. The moderator will facilitate this session once the chairperson opens the floor for Q&A. It may be noted that the company reserves the right to restrict the number of members asking the questions depending on the availability of time at the meeting. Now let me summarize the 7 resolutions proposed at this meeting for members' approval. The first 3 resolutions pertains to the adoption of the first resolution pertains to adoption of financial statements as on 31st of March 2021. Reappointment of Professor Ravi Mazumdar, who retires by rotation and being eligible seeks reappointment as director. The reappointment of BSR & Co. LLP Chartered Accountants as the statutory auditors of the company and to fix their remuneration. Resolution 4 to 7 are special business. Resolution 4 pertains to reappointment of Mr. Bobby Parikh for a period of 5 years from the conclusion of this meeting till the conclusion of 26th and AGM scheduled in 2026. Resolution 5 pertains towards the approval sought for revision in remuneration payable to the non-executive directors by way of commission. Resolution 6 is towards the approval and increase in the limit of managerial remuneration payable to Mr. Siddharth Mittal, Managing Director, in excess of the limit prescribed under the Companies Act. The final resolution is towards ratification of the payment of remuneration to the cost auditors for the financial year 2021-22. The text of the resolutions along with explanatory statement is being provided in the notice circulated to the members. In compliance with the MCA circular, the item of special business in the AGM notice are considered unavoidable and hence proposed for the approval of the members at this meeting. In compliance with the provisions of Companies Act and SEBI regulations, the company has arranged for e-voting facility for all the members holding shares of the company as on the cutoff date of July 16, 2021 through KFin Technologies Private Limited on all the resolutions proposed at the AGM. The remote e-voting period commenced on Sunday, that is July 18, 2021 at 9 p.m. IST and ends yesterday at 5 p.m. Members who join us today for this AGM through the video conference and who have not cast their vote during the remote e-voting period can still cast their vote on all the resolutions as set forth in the AGM notice through the InstaPoll facility provided by KFin Technologies Private Limited. Members may click on the thumb option below the screen to cast their votes on the resolutions. Mr. V. Sridharan, Practicing Company Secretary, has been appointed by the board as a scrutinizer for the e-voting process. Upon submission of report by the scrutinizer, the results of e-voting and the InstaPoll will be intimated to the stock exchanges at the conclusion of the AGM and made available on the websites of the company and KFin Technologies RRTA. Statutory auditors, BSR and Company LLP, and secondary auditors, V. Sridharan and Associates, have expressed unqualified opinion on their respective reports for their financial year 2021. The statutory auditors' report on standalone financial results and consolidated financial statements are made available on page number 185 and 249 of the annual report, respectively. The secretarial audit report is available on page number 128 of the annual report. As the audit reports are already circulated to the members as the part of annual report, we take the report as read. Now I request Kiran to continue with the chairman's speech.
Thank you, Mayank. Continuing with my chairman's address, I would like to now turn to our generics business. The generics business acted with agility to ensure supplies of much needed generic APIs or active pharmaceutical ingredients and formulations from India to the rest of the world, belying fears of large-scale medicine shortages due to the pandemic. We supply statins, immunosuppressants, narrow-spectrum antibiotics and other APIs to over 100 countries. And we were able to serve our partners despite COVID-related disruptions. Revenues from the generics business grew by 6% over the previous year to 23,359 million, supported by double-digit growth in generic formulations and a modest single-digit growth in APIs. In FY21, generics formulations achieved a key milestone with the launch of tacrolimus capsules, an immunosuppressant used to treat organ transplant patients in the US. We delivered 2 billion statin tablets for the benefit of patients in the US in FY21. It also entered into new partnerships to expand commercial footprint to Singapore, Thailand, and Brazil. We remain committed to investing in building new capabilities and capacities across functions, including R&D, manufacturing, and quality, and expanding our product portfolio to deliver long-term sustainable growth in our generics business. Coming to novel biologics, realizing the acute need for an effective treatment for people hospitalized with COVID-19 and those at risk of developing severe illness, we repurposed our first-in-class anti-CD6 monoclonal antibody itolizumab, which has a unique mechanism of action in controlling cytokine release syndrome. The Drugs Controller General of India, or DCGI, granted a restricted emergency use approval to itolizumab in July 2020 to treat CRS in patients experiencing moderate to severe acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS, due to COVID. We are gathering additional data as part of the phase 4 post-marketing study for itolizumab, which will further validate the potential of this therapy in COVID-19. During the devastating second wave, itolizumab was deployed to treat over 20,000 patients affected with severe disease. I'm sure many of you have heard the audio visual that was played for all the shareholders, where we have received many testimonials from various caregivers, doctors, and patients. Results from the phase 2 clinical trial, which established itolizumab as a promising, safe, and effective immunotherapy for COVID-19 with survival and recovery benefits, have been published in a prestigious peer-reviewed scientific journal in FY21. Equillium, our US-based partner, reported encouraging developments on the clinical advancement of itolizumab in treating acute graft versus host disease, lupus, lupus nephritis, and uncontrolled asthma. We're expecting clinical data from all these studies later in the year. Boston-based Bicara Therapeutics is our Boston-based startup is spearheading the development of novel bifunctional fusion antibodies in immuno-oncology. Its lead program, BC101, is in phase 1 clinical trials in the US and Canada. Bicara started operating as a standalone company under an independent management team in FY21, after which we ceded control to its board and management. Despite a challenging year, Syngene successfully delivered on its commitment to clients who depend on the company for their research and development needs. It delivered revenue of 21,843 million and an annual growth of 9%. Syngene also built on its integrated drug discovery and development portfolio during the year, signing on new clients and renewing contracts, scientific and manufacturing capabilities during the year. The Biocon Group was able to pivot very quickly its capabilities to fight against COVID-19 in FY21. We have a comprehensive portfolio of products for treating COVID-19 patients at different stages of the disease spectrum, including Remdesivir or Remvin for mild to moderate patients, Alzumab-L or itolizumab for moderate to severe patients, and Cytosorb for critical patients. Biocon's research services subsidiary Syngene manufactured Remdesivir under a license from Gilead and distributed in India through Biocon Biologics and Sun Pharma to address patient needs for this life-saving therapy. Syngene leveraged its deep scientific expertise to develop various solutions to support the nation's battle against COVID-19. Syngene also repurposed its high-end laboratory and conducted over 185,000 RT-PCR tests, of which 90% were free of cost in FY21. This was provided to the government of Karnataka largely for its testing and tracking needs. The company also developed an ELISA antibody test kit for COVID-19. Currently, scientists at Syngene are engaged in developing and validating several relevant assays for assessing immune response to SARS-CoV-2. To support the government's effort to combat and contain the pandemic, Syngene has set up a vaccination center to provide free vaccination for Biocon Group employees and their families. And through the Biocon Foundation's ELAD Smart Clinics and other initiatives, we are now providing COVID-19 vaccinations for marginalized and neighboring communities. I would now like to pay tribute to our colleagues who were lost to this pandemic. The second wave of COVID-19 in India has tragically impacted us, and we have lost some of our dear colleagues across Biocon Biologics, and Syngene. We express our deepest condolences to the bereaved families, and I would like to basically observe a minute's silence in respect of their lives. Thank you. We understand that we cannot compensate the loss of a human life. However, we have taken steps to help their families rebuild their lives. The Biocon Group has decided to pay the families of the deceased 50% of the employee's gross salary for 2 years, up to a maximum payout of 50 lakhs. We will also extend the education allowance support for 2 children until the age of 18. We will also assist with job hiring for either the spouse or a child in one of our group companies, or help them find employment elsewhere depending on their education and eligibility. The above support is in addition to the group term life insurance and other benefits applicable to the company's policy. We sincerely appreciate the contributions made by our dear colleagues and earnestly share the grief of their families. Now coming to financial performance. Despite a tough and unpredictable year, Biocon delivered a credible financial performance with consolidated revenue growing 14% to rupees 73,603 million and hit the $1 billion mark. EBITDA grew 8% to rupees 19,071 million, representing an EBITDA margin of 26%. Net profit before exceptional item and discontinuing operations was at rupees 7,540 million. Our determination to keep investing in science to stay a step ahead of the pandemic is reflected in the 19% rise in our gross R&D spends to 6,270 million in the year. Coming to dividends, on account of the uncertainty due to the unprecedented second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in India, Biocon's board of directors has deemed it prudent not to declare a dividend for FY21 in order to prioritize cash and maintain liquidity. Coming to management changes, the board of Biocon Biologics appointed Dr. Arun Chandawakar as the managing director with effect from January 21st, 2021, and entrusted him to steer the company to the next level. Shreyas Tambe was promoted from Chief Operating Officer to the position of Deputy Chief Executive Officer at Biocon Biologics. We appointed Sushil Umesh as the Chief Commercial Officer for Emerging Markets to drive the biosimilars business in these markets. Sushil brings over 30 years of experience in the pharmaceuticals industry, having worked in India, France, and Sub-Saharan Africa for leading global pharma companies. I do believe we now have a strong leadership team in place to drive future growth of our biosimilars business and return the company to its high growth trajectory soon. I will also be playing a more active role as Executive Chairperson of Biocon Biologics Limited. I'm also happy to welcome Professor Peter Pyatt, Director of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and the Handa Professor of Global Health, to the board of Biocon Biologics Limited as an independent director. His scientific expertise and his long experience in global healthcare will be invaluable for the company. The board of Biocon Limited has appointed Indraneel Sel as the Chief Financial Officer of Biocon in place of Anupam Jindal, who resigned from the post due to personal reasons. I now have an announcement to make. John Shaw, my husband, who is vice chairman of Biocon, will retire from the board of directors due to health reasons on the conclusion of today's AGM. He has been a key member of the company's board and management team since 1999 and has contributed in a significant manner to the transformation of Biocon from a small enzymes company to a globally recognized biopharmaceutical company. Over the last 22 years, he has played an important role in building Biocon, ensuring the highest levels of corporate governance in the company, as well as in the financial and strategic development of the group. On behalf of the board, I express my deep appreciation and gratitude to my husband John for his stewardship and guidance and for the invaluable role he has played in shaping Biocon. Thank you, John. Coming to environmental and social governance, Biocon's commitment to environmental, social, and governance is about health equity, purposeful employment, and ethical business practices. Biocon has built its business culture on a bedrock of purpose, ethics, and equity. A purpose-driven business philosophy has provided us with a compelling raison d'etre to embed social impact in all that we do. From our origins as a pioneering biotechnology enterprise that inculcated a research-driven strategy to address eco-friendly enzyme-based solutions in industrial processing, to our innovation-led healthcare solutions that provide affordable access to patients who battle cancer, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases, we are propelled with a sense of business responsibility that has both ethics and equity at its core. As a global corporate citizen, we have pursued business leadership on a platform of affordable access to essential and life-saving medicines, which encompass generic and biosimilar drugs. Affordability has always been a challenge to patients in low and middle income countries, as well as to those who cannot afford insurance in even high income countries. We have, over the past 2 decades, provided equitable and affordable access to millions of patients across the world, be it life-sustaining immunosuppressants like tacrolimus or breast cancer drugs like trastuzumab, or insulin and insulin analogs for people with diabetes. Our responsible business practices which embed social impact in all that we do, includes effectively managing environmental, social, and governance matters. While the principles of ESG, operating responsibly and sustainably and caring for people and communities, have been ingrained in our company's DNA since inception, we are proud to present our first ESG summary report this year. The ESG summary report has been distributed to all our shareholders along with the annual report. The ESG report presents efforts made and progress achieved by the company in delivering on our commitments and seek to address the growing interest and expectations of our global stakeholders across ESG domains. Later this year, we will publish our first global reporting initiative, aligned ESG report, which will provide comprehensive insights into our ESG performance over FY21. Coming to patient equity, Biocon is proud of its stated mission of impacting health equity through affordable access to essential and life-saving medicines. We have augmented our commitment to global health through several partnerships with health initiatives sponsored by UNAIDS, Clinton Health Access Initiative, etc. Our 10 cents per day insulin initiative is to enable access to diabetes patients in low and middle income countries. Coming to people equity, underpinning our health equity initiatives is our commitment to an equitable and inclusive workplace. We aim to make Biocon an equal opportunity enterprise from recruitment to career and leadership development. We would like to get to a 50-50 gender ratio by 2030, of which the ratio at the moment is only 83-17. We firmly believe that gender and diversity are the hallmarks of progressive businesses. When it comes to environmental equity, we have always been a responsible company who goes beyond statutory compliances to create responsible business practices that focus on judicious use of natural resources. Addressing the climate change emergency, we are committed to climate change mitigation through actions to limit global warming and its related effects. As part of our unceasing efforts to lower greenhouse gas emissions over the long term, we use every opportunity to increase renewable energy across our operations through on-site solar installations and by sourcing wind energy to offset grid supply. These efforts led to increase in the share of green power to over half of our total energy consumption for the year across the Biocon group. Our carbon footprint reduction efforts have led us to achieve CO2 emission cuts of over 102,600 tons in FY21. During the year, we also made substantial capital investments to upgrade to the latest advancements in wastewater treatment. A new 600 KLD capacity zero liquid discharge effluent treatment plant based on advanced membrane bioreactor technology was installed in Bengaluru at an investment of 80 million rupees in FY21. This has led to 400,000 liters of incremental water savings per day across Biocon and biologics in India. Coming to Biocon Foundation, our corporate social responsibility reflects our ESG goals. From our environmental efforts in lake revival, our efforts in enabling employability through the Biocon Academy, and investing in digital health initiatives through our Ilaj Smart Clinics in primary health, we have cut across various aspects of CSR. The Ilaj Smart Clinics operating at the 20 government-run primary health centers and 3 Biocon Foundation-operated health centers continue to provide outpatient services across 7 districts of Karnataka in FY21. Despite pandemic-related challenges, Foundation staff coordinated testing, tracking, and vaccination for COVID-19 in these districts. Our Ilaj clinics recorded patients' footfalls of over 61,000 during the year. The foundation also inaugurated the new buildings it helped construct for the Government Higher Primary School in Huskuru, Bengaluru, and the Government Higher Primary School in Sira, Tumkuru. Over 500 students will have access to better learning due to well-equipped new buildings. Coming to digital governance, Biocon is investing in building a robust digital architecture that will support data platforms and data networks across organizational functions. ESG is at the core of Biocon's digital transformation, wherein we aim to enhance quality and compliance, augment productivity through enhanced operational excellence, and enable data integrity through technology-led data transparency. Digitization, we firmly believe, has the ability to build higher standards of governance and deliver greater levels of trust to all stakeholders. Now, looking ahead, in the face of the biggest health calamity faced by humanity in a century, Biocon kept its commitment to its patients and partners in FY21. We hope that with increasing vaccination coverage, the social and economic situation in India will improve. We look forward to an overall improvement in business sentiment. On the back of investments made so far, we expect to drive revenue growth in our biosimilars, research services, and generics businesses in FY22. We will continue to focus on expanding our product portfolio, strengthening the development pipeline, and accelerating capacity enhancement. We will invest in skilling our workforce to prepare for a digital future. Access to essential and life-saving medicines is an ethical issue. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed both the inequity and the ethical and moral failure of the world's governance system. The unconscionable disparity between the rich and poor nations in access to vaccines mirrors the enormous health inequity when it comes to medicines. At a time when the world sadly acknowledges inequitable access to vaccines, we hope that our purposeful business philosophy embedded in health equity and access resonates with our partners and every stakeholder. I would like to thank our esteemed shareholders, partners, and other stakeholders for continuing to repose their faith in us. While the pandemic will bring many further challenges, our unwavering purpose of ensuring equitable access to healthcare gives us the confidence to build a stronger, better Biocon for the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Kiran. Dear members, before we proceed with the Q&A session, we would request you kindly bear in mind few points. Moderator will announce name of each shareholder who has registered themselves as a speaker shareholder. Kindly unmute yourself before you proceed to ask your question. Each shareholder will have 2 minutes of his or her question. 2 minutes of time for a question. Hence, request you keep your question brief and specific. I will request my moderator to facilitate the Q&A session. Moderator, may I have a first speaker, please?
Thank you, sir. This is a moderator here. I'll bring the registered speakers one by one who are currently available now. The first speaker is Mr. K. Sadananda Sastry. Sir, I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with your query. Thank you. Mr. Sadananda Sastry.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Please proceed.
Mr. Shastri?
Sir, I think he's joining back again.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Sadan, we can hear you.
Hello. Hello. It is audible.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you seeing me?
No, please.
Sir, we are able to get your video, sir, but your audio is on. We are yet to get your video. Please switch on your camera, sir.
Now?
Not yet, sir.
Hello.
Not yet, sir. We didn't get your video till
Okay.
Yes, it's coming.
I will start now.
Yeah, now we can see you.
Okay.
Now we can see.
Okay. Good afternoon. I am Sadananda Shastri from Bangalore. My number is 11702201. The slides are very much useful to the company. I will take a minute more. In the absence of physical copy of annual report, we are facing many problems, madam. Your statement in page number 3, the year made unprecedented demands of us. Appreciate that. As of to your international revenue, 81% and 90% domestic. Biocon should be second none. I am proud to say because I am a well-wisher. Page number 11. You have explained the biosimilar insulin. It is very worth. On the other hand, the stage of oral insulins not explained. Why? I was very much anxious for getting vaccine from my company, but disappointed. You have advised the government to vaccinate the taxpayer, but did not provide the vaccine. I am affectionately annoyed with the fact that both stalwart Syngene and Biocon could not find out a suitable and effective and low-cost vaccine like Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute. I express my deep condolences to those scientists and employees lost their lives for COVID. And on the other hand, I am very much impressed for the humanitarian consideration shown by you in rehabilitating the bereaved family. Page number 17. I heartily welcome your decision in postponing the dividend due to COVID uncertainty. I urge upon you to utilize this small sacrifice of shareholders to poor. COVID will not end immediately. Biocon's responsibility is still more to find out the effective and low-cost vaccine. It is the need of the hour at present. It is my suggestion. Page number 42. It is peculiar to note that generic and research revenue has a meager growth, but biosimilar is 21% growth. What is the speciality? Is it a good sign? Why the others too are lagging behind? Profit graph is showing meager 1% growth. When we can reach the level of 2019 year? Page number 105, board's report. Standalone revenue slightly decreased. Expenses slightly increased. Why? Page number 106. Fire accident took place during 2016, but still the company has not received a full claim, partial payment being received. What is the total claim left over out of 2,120 million? Page number 115. I am sorry, I personally feel, as far as the CSR is concerned, the attitude of foundation team is not helpful to the company. Foundation people, better to mend their present attitude. Page number 194. Standalone balance sheet. Your profit after tax is showing negative growth to the extent of 1,500 million. Why steep decrease in such a way?
Sir, I would request you to wrap up your questions, sir.
Number 258, last one. The property plant increased by 2,000 million, but depreciation is also increased by 2,000 million. Why? PBIT showing a negative variance. Profit influenced again by that is exceptional items. Why? What is your comment? Lastly, additional deposits with the bank by 10,000 million. Is it not an excess liquidity which would distort your funds deployment? Thank you very much. See you next again in Biocon Auditorium. Till then, be safe and cheerful. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Sadanand Shastri, for all your good wishes and your good comments. I would just like to answer some of your questions, and then I will pass it on to my colleague Siddharth Mittal to take on some of your financial questions. To begin with, I want you to understand that oral insulin is still at a very early stage of testing, and hence we have given you much more information on our recombinant human insulin. As far as vaccines are concerned, you will understand that, Biocon is not a vaccine company, but I can tell you that Syngene has been supporting vaccine companies with a lot of scientific and research support. So many of the existing vaccine makers are relying on Syngene for some of their analytical requirements. And I would also like to say that as far as Biocon is concerned, obviously we have done our bit for COVID-19. We have also developed and repurposed some of our one of our drugs to treat COVID patients, which has been very, very useful. So I would say that whilst we may not have been making a vaccine, please understand that every company has its strengths and its focus area. We haven't made vaccines, but we certainly have supported and helped vaccine manufacturing companies in many, many ways. I will now hand it over to Siddharth to take you through some of the other aspects of the questions you asked.
So there was a question regarding reduction in profits in the standalone financial statements. So if you look at March 20 financials, we had a one-time income or exceptional income of 1,597 million. But if we exclude that, our profit before tax and before exceptional item on a standalone basis was in line with the previous year. I would also encourage you to look at the consolidated financials. The standalone profit of Biocon Limited reflects only a part of our business, while you should look at all our businesses to understand the financial performance of the group. There was a question regarding cash balance, why the cash balance has gone up last year. And as you know, that we have raised $200 million from various private equity funds in last year to build and invest in our capacities and R&D pipeline. These investments take multiple years, and we would be deploying the cash in R&D and building new plants in the coming years. So till then, the balance would obviously reflect in the bank. There was a question around growth, why the growth for the generics business was lower and compared to the growth which we saw very healthy growth in biosimilars. Let me assure the shareholders that the generics business is a very important business for the group. We have started to invest in this business, both in terms of capacities and pipeline. And over the next few years, we will start seeing dividends in terms of the growth that this business will generate. I think I've covered most questions that you had asked.
Yeah.
We can move to the next question, please.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to the next speaker, Mr. Kaushik Narendra Shaukar. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the word.
At the outset, let me introduce myself as Kaushik Shaukar from Mumbai. Good afternoon, madam, and all directors at the board. Professionally, I am a chartered accountant. Medically, I suffer from dystonia. In simple terms, 55% of my body is paralyzed, and this impacted my right hand, my right leg, and speech. I have not, however, treated this as a hindrance. As I have mentioned earlier, despite my medical condition, I have successfully completed my chartered accountancy course. As I strongly believe that I am self-reliant and self-dependent. I admire virtues of Biocon that shares the same principle of making people self-reliant through your ongoing and continuous philanthropic work. You have made and are making a positive change in the society. Madam, today is on the occasion of Guru Purnima. If you can shower some blessings over me, it can change my life too. Due to aforesaid, I have previously approached Biocon to work in the certification area. Unfortunately, that has not progressed. I would therefore like to use this forum to reach out to you and explore avenues where we could work together. I'm confident that you would find my professional acumen a value add to your esteemed organization and will empathize with my condition and support me with certification work. I would like to thank Board of Directors for giving me opportunity to speak and also patiently hearing me. Before I end my speech, I would like to give special thanks to entire Secretary Department, including Aishwarya Kumar. It was only the efforts which had made this event possible for me. Please accept my thanks, and it is from bottom of the heart. I'm also hopeful that company will empathize with me and will religiously consider me. Can I expect positive response from the company? I'm sure I was audible and properly and clearly audible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaushik Bhai. I'm very sorry to hear about your health condition. You can certainly reach out to my colleagues and we will see how we can help you. But in the meantime, rest assured that we will certainly go by your own guidance, that we will make people self-reliant through skilling. I would also like to thank you for speaking at this AGM. And on the occasion of Guru Purnima, of course, I do share my good wishes to everyone. And all of us need to look up to our respective gurus. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll move to the next speaker. Next speaker is Mr. Mukesh V. Admira. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with your query. Thank you.
Namaste, everybody. I'm just speaking. I'm not switching on the video, only audio. It's nice to see you all, though virtually, thanks to the technology of 21st century. And at least we are able to do all this. It has been a very bad pandemic year, unlike any other in human history, with nearly 4 million lives lost across the globe. And I offer my prayers and whatever best I can offer to the families of people whom we don't even know, including those who have been lost by Biocon as your colleagues and all that. Nice to see Mr. Damodaran, Ravi Bhai, Dr. Kachru, Bobby Bhai. I wish it was a personal and physical meeting. One of the questions you have already answered. What I had was, is it not possible that we can get into the vaccine business, because it's something very similar, though I understand it's not exactly the same that we are doing at Syngene and Biocon. But if it's possible to explore, because in years to come, this is likely to be a great business opportunity if we can also diversify into that, if there are opportunities for it. There's one thing I would like to mention. It's very sad to see that you mentioned your husband John is now going to be retiring, and it has always been a pleasure to see him, his pleasant demeanor whenever we meet him personally. So hope to see him sometime, somewhere in future. One request I have, Madam, this may be slightly out of the context here, but then this is the forum where it needs to be brought to the attention of people like you, who are a nationally recognized personality. And there needs to be a think tank on many shareholders of certain companies, and otherwise, the investors are not having ease of investment or ease of living, which the Prime Minister has been talking about. So as part of ease of living, ease of investment, and eventually ease of dying also comes out of that. If the unlocked, if people are able to, get their shares and many other assets that are locked up due to redundant and ridiculous rules and regulations, transmission of shares, or probably some of you may be aware, 1 lakh crore rupees is lying with the government of India unclaimed due to these kind of things, and many such. And we as small investors are totally helpless, either with the companies or with the regulators. And as a lead company, nationally recognized company and prestigious company, I would like you to please take some initiatives along with some like-minded companies. And I'm sure there are several of them in this country. If something can be done, I have a lot of inputs about this. This is for the sake of millions of investors and public in general. And I wish everybody a lot of good health, good luck, and hope to see you sometime as soon as possible. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukesh Bhai. Yes, it's a pity that we can't meet in person. Otherwise, I always look forward to meeting you at our AGMs, and you have been such a faithful participant at every one of our AGMs. So hopefully next year, this time we will be able to meet in person. But thank you for all your wishes.
Thank you, ma'am. So we'll move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Aspi Banansha. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with your query. Mr. Aspi. Yes, sir, you have unmuted. Please proceed with your query.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, quite good first quarter. The profits were down. Firstly, I would like to comment on the dividend. It's good that you skipped the dividend and plowed back the money. I would prefer appreciation to a dividend. And second, IPO of Biocon Biologics. Ensure that there is no IPO. You should give to the shareholders of Biocon directly and list it. The precedent was Reliance Industries. So many companies were separated from Reliance Industries, and all those companies got listed with IPO is almost 10% of the amount. If you consult the merchant banker, he will say IPO is essential, so they won't get the income. You should see the research in Glenmark Pharma. The shareholders, but ultimately SEBI resident banker commented that of retail, now they've increased it to 35%, and that's why there is no quota. So I would request you not for IPO and straight go for a listing by giving to the shareholders of Biocon. If you can charge some premium rather than giving it free. But I would like you to ensure that entire amount goes only to the shareholders of Biocon. Madam, thank you very much, and I hope next year also you keep video conferencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aspie. I've noted all your comments and suggestions, and we'll certainly keep that in mind. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you, ma'am. We will move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Vinod Motilal Agarwal. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the query. Thank you. Mr. Vinod. Mr. Vinod, I would request you to unmute your audio. Still you are muted, sir. Yes,
Can you hear me?
Proceed. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Please proceed.
Respected Chairman, Madam Majumdar Shaw, I had read about you first in the magazine Economist. That was about 12 to 15 years ago, when Biocon was not.
Can't hear you.
Mr. Vinod, we are losing your audio. Maybe you can switch off your video and proceed so that it will take care of the bandwidth.
I welcome Mr. Siddharth Mittal and CS Mayank Vamaji for making such a elaborate annual report of more than 324 pages in these COVID times. Okay, now we are the only Indian company with 3 biosimilars approved in USA, 5 similars approved and biosimilars approved in this thing. And we've got a lot of appreciation from. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Go continue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, on the pages 7, 8, 54, 55, 64, 65, there's so many good words from the patients and from our partner companies abroad for a company which has done a very good work in the COVID time and supplying Itolo is for the patients. And I disagree with my previous speaker that if we come out with biologics IPO, do keep a quota for the existing shareholders of Biocon, because if it's a way of rewarding the loyal shareholders of Biocon, and it is not something else. Like if in good times the companies cannot reward the shareholders, then when will they reward? And we understand that this was a bad year, so you're not giving us dividend. When the good times come, do give us interim dividends also. If you can have in the third or fourth quarter, if the results are good, you can give us interim dividends also. And it's nice to know that you've come out with immunosuppressant for transplant and patients abroad, and very nice. And I wish the company all the best for the future. I'm Vinod Agarwal signing off.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vinod Agarwal. Thank you for all your suggestions, and of course, we will keep everything in mind. We always are a very fair and equitable company, so we will certainly keep all your suggestions in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We will move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Abhishek. I would request Mr. Abhishek to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the query. Mr. Abhishek Jain. Mr. Abhishek, still you're not unmuted. Request you to unmute your audio and proceed with the query. Since there is no response from the speaker, Mr. Abhishek, with your permission, I am moving to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. P. Jaychand. I would request Mr. Jaychand to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the query.
Abhishek here, sir. Jaychand has not joined, sir. Kindly connect Abhishek, sir.
Okay, please proceed.
So my name is Abhishek, shareholder of the company. My DP ID IN 301637 and client ID is 41359155. First of all, I congratulate the management on the eve of annual general body meeting. Trust all is well with you and your family in this challenging situation. Our company deserves much more respect than the current market cap after completing more than a decade of successful operations, profitability, dividend history, and becoming one of the strongest brands in our respective industry segment. Sir, we would like to know what's the real impact of COVID, and as most of the shareholders have already thought that, I would not like to go in detail in that. And what are, in this COVID time, any employees we have sacked, hired, salary cut, any salary cut was being taken by the management, and what is the view of the management going forward? Sustainability of profit earning growth will remain challenging in the coming quarters, and what are the management efforts to improve working capital, sales ratio, ROC, EBITDA, and interest coverage ratio? So what are the management efforts to have con call and quarterly presentations with global investors and investor fraternity on a regular basis? And what are the management efforts to reduce the other expenses, legal professional charges, and audit fees? So myself and my team are running a legal firm in the name and style of Seven Wells Associate in Chennai. I would request your good selves to kindly enroll our firm into the empanelment of the company, and we would be glad to extend our services. Sir, then what is the policy related to dividend in our company? As most of the citizens are only dividend dependent on that. And regarding the CSR part, the company has given a very good amount of CSR during the year, and I would request the management to kindly dedicate as much as CSR towards the COVID pandemic so that the world can come out of this crisis as soon as possible, and also to dedicate some funds towards the investor fraternity who are being affected by COVID and whose family members are being affected by COVID. After verifying the credentials, if they are really eligible, the management can take a call to dedicate some funds from the part of CSR to the investor fraternity. Nothing much to ask, sir. I wish the company and the board of directors a great success and prosperity in the coming future. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Hope to see you in the physical AGM next year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Abhishek Jain. Thank you for all your suggestions. I think as a company, we listen to all our shareholder suggestions. As regards your suggestion, your queries and suggestions on our financial management and other aspects of governance, believe me, we are making sure that we look at all these aspects that you have just mentioned very seriously. We are a very well-governed company, and we will make sure that we address all the aspects of cost, efficiency, operational excellence, and other aspects of expenses. Just for your information, we did not, downsize during the pandemic. We did not, we did not have salary cuts, but we did delay increments till we were in a position to give it. But I'm happy to say that starting this fiscal, we have given them increments, promotions, and a one-time bonus for last year. So all those corrections have happened, and we now have a very highly engaged and highly charged workforce who are looking forward to the future with a lot more confidence after going through a very devastating second wave. So we are looking forward, hoping that the worst is behind us, and we look forward to a brighter future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Rajesh Kevalram Chainani. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with your query. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Respected Chairperson, Madam Majumdar ji, highly distinguished Board of Directors, and my fellow shareholders online. Madam, first of all, I would like to say the company has been performing very well from years to years. I've received the many bonuses also. But
from few years, I'm seeing the performance of the company. The price of the company has not gone up. Hello.
I can hear you.
The highest price of this year was 487. So I look at the prices when the stock market is rocking. So our performance also should rock. Our share price also should rock. I know it's not in our hands, but the market should give us thumbs up. Yesterday, bond companies like Lawrence Lab and all, they are 2 rupees face value have reached the level of 700. But I'm a very faithful shareholder of this company from years because I've received 1-to-1 bonus. So I hope really the company really performs very well. In the coming year, we should flourish with the stock price. And a lot of suggestions have been already given. So I don't have very much to say, but it's very nice that at least you have kept the salaries in the same level. So a lot of good CSR activities have been done. So next year, I hope I travel to Bangalore for the physical meeting. So for this, I want to just say a few words, ना दूर रहने से रिश्ते टूट जाते हैं और ना पास रहने से जुड़ जाते हैं. ये तो एहसास के पक्के धागे हैं जो याद करने से और मजबूत हो जाते हैं. So we are always with you, madam, and I support all the resolutions. And thank you very much. These were my few words for the entire managing team. And Mr. Damodaran is always there. I met him many times in Bombay. So he's one of the most honest persons. So I know there's nothing much to say. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajesh ji, for your wonderful words. And also, I understand your concerns about Biocon. Biocon has performed as a stock very strongly over the last few years. Obviously, in the recent past, it has not been able to sustain that kind of growth. But I can tell you that our business is looking good. Very often, you can see that this is a sector now that is a very important sector, and I hope that with all that we do, that we get our due in terms of recognition as a company that is seeking global leadership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We go to the next speaker. Next speaker is Ms. Devaki Ramadevi. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the query. Thank you. Ms. Devaki. You have unmuted. Please proceed with the query.
We're now unmuted.
My name is Kirti Shah.
Okay, please go ahead.
Now, there is no response from the speaker, Mr. Devaki Ramadevi. So we will move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Yusuf Yunus. I would request Mr. Yusuf to unmute your audio and proceed with your query. Mr. Yusuf, again you have unmuted yourself. Request you to unmute and proceed with query.
Connectivity issue with Mr. Yusuf.
Yeah, he is joined back, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear my voice? Good morning. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear my?
Yes, I
am very good for company bio team, and I'm very grateful to give you a link, sir. And this is a Karvi people I've joined, but what happens? Some mobile, some technical problem is there. Link coming and going, madam. Some technical problem is facing in my because it is very far. And I wish our John sir, who is a pillar of our company, and is left this is the last year. My good wishes for the madam, for our John sir and his team and all our sales department. They are very excellent and they are very hardworking, madam. After rate 490, around 400 rupees. और आपने हमको
Unfortunately, we lost his connectivity. With your permission, can I proceed with the next speaker now? Thank you. So we will go to the next speaker. The next speaker is Ms. Celestine Elizabeth. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on the camera to proceed with.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, very good, very good. Respected chairperson, Mrs. Kiran Majumdar, other team, other honorable directors, my fellow shareholders attending this virtual meet. My name is Mrs. C. Mascarenhas. I am speaking from Mumbai. First of all, I thank the company secretary and the team for sending me this e-annual report. I would like a hard copy because I get a lot of eye-watering problems. I thank the K FinTech for giving me this platform to speak and participate in this AGM. Now I come to the working. Of course, there was all these hardships of COVID, so we have to wait for the future to get the dividend. But in good days, madam, you have rewarded us handsomely by dividend and very good bonuses. When the board thinks fit, I feel you will do at the right time because you are always caring for the small shareholders. And I think about Warren Buffett's Hathaway, which never gave dividend, but there was always capital appreciation. Anyway, I leave it to Madam and her team, and I know I will wish you all the best that we go up the ladder and we become very powerful company. Biocon means very powerful. Already we have so many Syngene you gave us. Now still we are looking for further. Here I congratulate for all the awards and accolades received and also a great CSR. I appreciate the CSR work done to the humanity. Madam, keep it up and your team. Now I have some few queries. Did we face disruptions in supply chain of raw materials, especially the API? How it was tackled? What about the oxygen supply, which was all directed for hospitals? Now, what is the position these days? Could you throw some light in our startup BioCare? Will you list this in future, or are you still supporting it? And if there is requirements of funds, you can always come with the rights in Biocon, because nowadays the market is so heated. Today, Zomato, even I applied, I didn't get. So it is so much where the company has nothing, means it is in loss, that is getting so much premium. So if you come with rights, it would be also very good, because these days everything, all the IPOs, everything, paper sells like hot cakes. Now, my third question is, we have medicine, drugs for diabetes, cancer, and other ailments, many ailments. Madam, I suggest you, or I can just share my thoughts. What about developing some drug for COVID? Because this COVID will not go away fast. That is what I feel. It will stay for at least 4 or 5 years. So if we have such big research team, so if we do some research or get from the labs, there are many working on it. So if some medicine like paramacetol we take in cough and cold, we get something like COVID. So you take rest for 8 days, finish, and then you are fine. I look out for such sort of situation. Rest, I endorse the view of Mukesh about this DMAT. Even I am getting lot of problem, not in Biocon, but the other companies which I have invested long back. And madam, I hope you little intervene with the various agencies so that you make our dematting easy. No? So I end up here. Only one more. Any PLI benefit of the government of India we are eligible and have we applied? Lastly, I support all the resolutions. I wish our company all the best. May it grow in strength to strength, and we see Biocon market cap double and tripling, not even doubling, tripling in the next year when the COVID will become less. With this, thank you very much. May God bless you and all our people. And especially, I pray for the health of Mr. John, who has contributed a lot from 99 or something. I wish him that his health gets better. I pray to my God. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Mascarenhas, for your very good wishes and kind words. Let me answer some of your questions. You had asked what kind of supply disruptions did we have due to COVID. You're absolutely right. we did face a lot of disruptions during the second wave, especially with respect to oxygen supplies, because most of the oxygen requirements were diverted for medical use. And as you know, as a fermentation industry, we do require oxygen. So we did have some challenges, but I'm pleased to inform you that the worst is over and behind us. We are now back to normal. And most of these challenges that we had faced in terms of both the supply chain disruptions, as well as the fact that many of our employees on site were infected and had to be quarantined, and therefore there were a lot of disruptions at work as well. But all that is now behind us, and we are almost back to normal. I certainly take on board a lot of the other aspects of business that you said. We will keep all this in mind. As you very rightly said, as a company, we are very, very considerate and empathetic in terms of what our shareholders, and especially minority shareholders, how we take care of them. So please rest assured that we will certainly, take all this into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move to the next speaker. Ms. Lekha Satish Shah. I would request Ms. Lekha to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with query.
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Respected Chairperson, ma'am, Board of Directors, and my fellow members, good evening to all of you. Myself, Lekha Shah from Mumbai. First of all, our company secretariat team for sending very good investor services and also sending me the AGM notice by email well in time in such a difficult situation. So I am very grateful to our Mrs. Aishwarya ma'am. Madam, I am very happy to see all the good deeds that you have done during this difficult time. Ma'am, I pray to God that He always shower His blessing upon you. I would like to congratulate our company winning various awards this year. I am sure that that list of awards will keep getting longer and longer in the years to come. And also I am glad the company is doing very well in the field of CSR activities. Ma'am, I am confident that with your vision and determination, you will lead our company to greater height. And also, I pray to God our company should progress more and more under you and your team's work. Ma'am, I would like to ask few questions. My first question is, all our company employees vaccinated against COVID-19? My second question is, how is the company preparing itself in a post-COVID world? My third question is, what are the learning from the lockdown and how is the company implementing those learning? My fifth question is, how we are engaging our employees? My sixth question is, how many of our company employees were affected by COVID-19? So I would like to say, I strongly propose all the resolutions for today's meeting and my best wishes always our company and this prosperity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Let me answer your questions. Thank you for all your good wishes. You will be very happy to know that we have vaccinated over 90% of our employees to date. And I think we have created a very safe environment. In terms of how we dealt with COVID in the past, we have from day one introduced a very rigorous testing protocol where we've made sure that every employee was subjected to regular and routine testing to make sure that people who were coming on site for working were not positive, and if they were found positive, they were asked to remain at home and quarantine. And of course, we used to be in constant touch with our employees and ensure that they did not need any hospitalization, and if they did, we of course helped them. Unfortunately, we did lose some of our colleagues despite all these measures we took. Largely, these were employees who had gone back to their hometowns and villages, and they did not have access to very good hospital care. We have, of course, made sure that we are in constant touch with our employees. We continue to make sure that our workplace is safe. Over this last second wave, we've had over 500 people who were infected, and as I said, we also had people who lost their lives. But I think of the majority of the 500 have recovered and back to work. So I would say that yes, we went through a lot of disruption because of the large number of people who were infected. And of these 500, many people were not on site. They were also off site. But nevertheless, the company has taken very good care of one of our employees. So with that, I would like to wish you all the best, and I hope you also are vaccinated and staying safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. We will move to the 13th speaker, Mr. Kirti Shaw. I would request Mr. Kirti Shaw to unmute your audio and proceed with the query.
गुड इवनिंग मैम.
गुड इवनिंग
मैम, गुड इवनिंग. आपने बहुत ही बढ़िया रिप्लाई दिया हुआ है. आई एम सेटिस्फाइड विद दिस. बहुत ही आपने बढ़िया आपने हैंडल किया हुआ है. बहुत ही बढ़िया बात है मैडम. लेकिन अभी आपने जो क्वेश्चन के जो सारे रिप्लाई दिए, अपना इसमें एफआईएस का होल्डिंग बहुत ही ज्यादा है. एफआईएस कभी भी आपको ये कर सकता है ऑल ओवर. जैसे मार्केट वर्ल्ड खराब हुआ तो एफआईएस अपना माल बेच के जाती है. तो एफआईएस का होल्डिंग कम रहे और डीआईएस म्यूचुअल फंड और एचआईएन का ज्यादा होल्डिंग बढ़े तो ज्यादा अच्छी बात है. मैडम, ये केएफ इंटेक का कभी भी वीडियो नहीं चल रहा है, उसकी क्या वजह है वो समझ नहीं आ रहा है. मैडम, एक केएफ इंटेक का वीडियो और ये स्पीकर नंबर आप बताएंगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. कीर्ति शाह इतना 13 नंबर स्पीकर नंबर, ऐसा करके आप बताएंगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा मैडम.
जी
मैडम, अभी आपका जो दिसंबर क्वार्टर का जो प्रॉफिट था वो करीब 33 करोड़ का था और मार्च क्वार्टर का प्रॉफिट है 67 करोड़ का. बहुत ही बढ़िया मार्च क्वार्टर ने अपना वर्किंग दिखाया हुआ है. और नेट प्रॉफिट मार्जिन आपका जो 7% था दिसंबर क्वार्टर में, वो मार्च क्वार्टर में आपने 14% बताया हुआ है. वो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. तो करंट सिचुएशन कैसा है, आगे आप कैसे बढ़ना चाहते हो, और आज की डेट में कंपनी की पेटेंट कितना प्रोडक्ट पेटेंट किया हुआ है, और आज की डेट में कंपनी की वैल्यूएशन क्या होनी चाहिए, वो थोड़ा बताएगा तो वो हिसाब से शेयर प्राइस भी काफी अच्छी तरह से बढ़ सकती है. अभी आपका जो भी चेयरमैन का कोई लेटर होगा तो इसमें आप क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट के बाद आप ये सब भी सारा वैल्यूएशन, पेटेंट वैल्यूएशन और कितना पेटेंट है वो सब देखें तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. और मैडम, अपना अभी इसमें इंस्टीट्यूशन एलआईसी का कितना होल्डिंग है? कई जगह पे आपने 4.11% दिखाया है, कई जगह पे आपने 4.27% दिखाया है. तो ये इतना डिफरेंस क्यों आ रहा है वो समझ नहीं आ रहा है. एलआईसी का होल्डिंग में इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, या तो इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का सेपरेट है 4.27%, अदर 3 इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का, वो क्या है वो डिटेल में जरा थोड़ा बताएगा तो ज्यादा अच्छा है. और काफी क्वेश्चन पहले स्पीकर काफी बोल चुके हैं तो वो मैं रिपीट करना नहीं चाहूंगा. पर इतना अपना आरओई इतना लो क्यों है मैडम? आरओई अभी जो लो है उसका भी आप थोड़ा रीजन बताएं कि आज तक इतना लो आरओई क्यों रह रहा है. और मैडम, अभी बाकी मैंने आपको ईमेल किया हुआ है, आप ईमेल का रिप्लाई करेंगे. और आपका जो टीम है, जो सेक्रेटरी टीम, वो काफी अच्छी तरह से कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं. 2-4 दिन से काफी अच्छी तरह से वो फॉलो अप करके सही तरह से शेयर होल्डर का सर्विस दे रहे हैं. वो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है, आगे भी कंटिन्यू करते रहे. आप इतना सीएसआर वर्क अच्छी तरह से आपने एक एज ए लेडी, एज ए मोर पावरफुल होती है और पैसे के बारे में और सारी सर्विसेज बारे में जो ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए, वो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि मैडम आपने बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से आप ये निभा रहे हो. विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट. थैंक यू वेरी मच. गॉड विल हेल्प यू फॉर द कंपनी एंड द होल टीम. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kirti bhai, for all your good words. I can tell you that as far as some of the questions that you asked about the company's performance and recognition, I think we are trying to work very hard to put this company right on top. We are a very unique company. आपको तो पता है कि हमारी कंपनी बहुत विशेष है क्योंकि हमारे जो दवाइयाँ हैं भारत में हमारी कंपनी में ही से 3 प्रोडक्ट यूएस एफडीए में अप्रूव हुई है और 5 प्रोडक्ट यूरोप में अप्रूव हुई है और किसी की इतनी प्रोडक्ट्स अप्रूव नहीं हुई है बायोसिमिलर्स की क्षेत्र में. तो इसीलिए हम मानते हैं कि वी हैव अ वेरी ब्राइट फ्यूचर. Our teams are very, very focused on research and development और हमें काफी पेटेंट्स भी हमें मिली है. और हम बहुत ही कोशिश करेंगे कि हमारे शेयर होल्डर्स हमारे से खुश रहेंगे और हम बहुत ही मेहनत से हम ये कोशिश करेंगे कि आप लोग हमारे से बहुत खुश होंगे। और LIC की होल्डिंग के बारे में can you please tell me what is the
as on 31st of March is 4.11 and as on June is 4.22.
आपने सुना है
4.11
कि
and
मार्च में
4.22.
4.11 थी LIC की होल्डिंग और जून में 4.22 % होल्डिंग है, मतलब कि उन्होंने थोड़े से और शेयर खरीदे हैं हमारे कंपनी में।
अभी 427।
तो आपका एक और क्वेश्चन था कि FII होल्डिंग इतनी हाई क्यों है। अगर आप देखेंगे हमारे जो बिजनेसेस है तीनों, रिसर्च सर्विसेज बिजनेस, बायोसिमिलर्स बिजनेस, ये दो ऐसे बिजनेसेस है जो इंडिया में और कोई कंपनीज के पास नहीं है। जेनरिक बिजनेस जो एक है, जो कि इंडिया में बहुत सारी बाकी जेनरिक कंपनीज है, तो जो इन्वेस्टर्स है, ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स, वो लोग काफी कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट करती है। बट जो इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टर्स है, उनके लिए रिसर्च सर्विसेज और बायोसिमिलर्स में इन्वेस्ट करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी बायोकॉन के थ्रू है। ये दोनों बिजनेसेस इंटरनेशनल बिजनेसेस है, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग और डिफरेंशिएटेड बिजनेसेस है। सो जो बड़े फंड्स है, ग्लोबली जो बड़े फंड्स है, उनको they understand the importance of these businesses, and we think that having international investors is also important because उससे आपकी कंपनी का जो प्रोफाइल है, इट्स अ ग्लोबल कंपनी, वो एक अच्छा शोकेस होता है। और हमारा जो कस्टमर बेस है, हमारे जो सब्सिडरीज है, जैसे बायकारा भी जो हमारी US बेस्ड सब्सिडरी है, उनके लिए भी बेनिफिट होता है। सो अगर इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टर्स होने से कोई खराब हमें नहीं लगता है कुछ होता है। इट इज अ गुड थिंग टू हैव, एंड बट एट द सेम टाइम हमारे जो डोमेस्टिक शेयर होल्डर्स है और जो इंडिविजुअल शेयर होल्डर्स है, वो लोग काफी इंपॉर्टेंट पिलर है हमारे कंपनी के। दे हैव स्टेड विद अस फॉर many years, and we thank them for their trust and belief in our company.
Thank you, sir. We will move to the next speaker. The 14th speaker, Mr. Dinesh Amrutlal Kotecha, is not available. We'll move to the 15th speaker, Mr. Rakesh Kumar Singh. I would request Mr. Rakesh to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with the query. Mr. Rakesh.
Hello.
Yes. Please continue.
Hello.
Sir, you have unmuted yourself. Please proceed with the query.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening all. Most of the answers already given. Still, I have few questions. First is stock price is underperforming since beginning of this calendar year 2021. What can be the reason? And pharma companies are doing well, but Biocon is underperforming. So, what can be the reason? Third question is, what are the growth targets and plans for next 5-year, 10-year, and beyond? And I observed that results shown on BSC side is not matching with the results given in annual report. Like in 2021, 2,028 crores revenue is written, and in annual report 73,603 millions are given. So this is not matching. In 2020 also 65,000 million is in annual report, and on BSC side 1,988 crores are.
Yeah, so I think that difference is the difference you're mentioning is between consolidated numbers versus standalone numbers.
Okay, I will check again.
Yeah, it is standalone versus consolidated.
Okay, fine. And one more thing, revenue is increasing year on year, but profit is decreasing. How I am not able to understand. In 2009, revenue is 56.5 thousand million. 2020, 65,000 million. 2021, 73.6 thousand million. But revenue is decreasing 9,000, then 7,482, then 7,400. And
encourage you to
I
look at
request
the
if you can
consol.
the physical copy of annual report, because reading hundreds of pages on screen is very difficult. And are we prepared for wave 3 if it comes?
Yeah. So to answer your questions, I think first and foremost, our stock has done extremely well in the last 1 year. But yes, it has remained a bit stagnant in the last several months. But I think, with the kind of growth prospects that we have, we expect the stock to do better. I think it's all about how markets perceive certain businesses. So right now, of course, the excitement is about companies that have, vaccines, or companies that have a large COVID portfolio. So I think our business is very differentiated. Unfortunately, we don't have comparable companies in the country. And so we're a standalone stock, and we get judged on a very different set of metrics compared to other companies. But we obviously strive to see how we can keep creating shareholder value. In terms of your comments on profits, I would leave it to my colleague to comment on that, because I'm surprised at your comments.
So I think you should read the financial statements, which are excluding the exceptional items. I know the annual report is very lengthy. It is 300 pages, but you can refer to pages 42 and 43, which has a snapshot of the financial summary for the year. And as you can see, that the revenue has grown for the overall company at 14%, while there was a degrowth of 1% in terms of profit. And we are investing heavily in R&D, so the R&D expenses are going up. We have also investing in other operating expenses which were incurred to grow various parts of the business, and some of the new plans that we have commissioned, for which the revenues would start in the coming years in various businesses. So we will start seeing income go up in the years to come.
I would also like to add, I think there was an earlier question also about ROCE. And I think we must understand that this business is a very gestational business. So unlike other sectors, when you invest today, the return on that investment comes after several years. So for some time, the ROCE is quite low, and then it starts picking up the moment you start commercializing from that facility. The problem is that we are under a lot of regulatory requirements, which does not allow us to supply as soon as the plant is commissioned. Another question I forgot to answer, which a previous speaker had asked, was about the PLI scheme. We have applied under the PLI scheme for all our companies, and we expect to be granted, this PLI incentives under each one of these applications. So I think overall, the business is positioned to be very, very strong and differentiated, and we are very optimistic and about the future. And I think we will continue to remain a very differentiated stock for all investors to be very proud of.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move to the next speaker. The 16th speaker is Mr. Hiranand Kotwani. I would request you to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with query. Mr. Hiranand. Sir, please proceed with query. You are unmuted yourself.
Please go ahead.
You are muted yourself. Please unmute and proceed with query. Okay, since there is no response from him, we'll move to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Arun Kumar Bopanna. I would request Mr. Arun Kumar to unmute your audio and switch on your camera to proceed with query. Thank you. Mr. Arun Kumar, you have unmuted. Please proceed with query.
Yeah, is the video on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening to everybody. Very proud and humbled of your business acumen, wisdom, and grounded nature, Kiran. My questions: what was the understanding and the goal with Bristol Myers Squibb? How do you think this will pan out after the pandemic? The 26% stake in Hinduja Renewables, I believe it's only a start. What is our goal for clean and neat energy? Do we buy power from Karnataka government or private companies? I believe in Karnataka, private players are offering at a much cheaper price. What is Biocon doing? In conclusion, there is no greater fulfillment than to touch and transform lives. People who are bursting with life do not need a purpose to live. Life is an unwavering purpose unto yourself, Kiran. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arun Kumarji. Let me say that we are also very committed to environmental sustainability. Our green energy ratio is just crossed 50%, and we would like to actually get to a 75% green energy target in the very near future. As far as purchasing the rest of the power is concerned, right now we are purchasing from Karnataka government, but we are looking at other avenues of buying power. So that's really the main kind of thrust that we have given in terms of green energy. As far as Bristol Myers Squibb is concerned, this is a research services agreement that our research services company Syngene has with Bristol Myers Squibb. It's a very important partnership under which there is a dedicated center just to conduct Bristol Myers Squibb research, and it is a very important part of the business that Syngene does. They have many such dedicated centers, but the Bristol Myers Center is the largest. So I think this is a business that really is very important to endorse the capability base and the scientific prowess of a company like Syngene. So I hope that answers your question, and thank you for your good wishes.
Thank you, ma'am. The other two speakers, Mr. Peter and Ikshit Naredi, has not joined. So we left out with one speaker, Ms. Devaki Ramdevi. She has joined back. So I would request Ms. Devaki to unmute your audio and switch on your camera.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Madam, I am son of Devaki. So I would like to express my happiness regarding the IEPF which received a letter from Mayank Verma sir. Thank you very much, sir, Mayank sir. Actually, my father was invested in this company in 2010. It is amounting to 25,000 rupees altogether. And he was expired in 2014, unfortunately. After that, my mom also expired. Then we received a letter from Mayank sir that my father has shares in Biocon company. And today, that value of that shares is to 4.5 lakh rupees. That amount helped us a lot during these tough times. And Mr. Amit sir all called regarding these shares, and they helped us to take that shares in the company. And thank you, Mayank sir. Thank you, Amit sir. We are owed to the Biocon team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Hiranand Kotwani. Now I am audible.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Mr. Kotwani.
Yeah. It was disruption from Kinfect time, but okay, I will come to the point. Namaste to all. Madam, what is your experience with dealing with the USA FDA? Hello. How is your experience? Share your experience with the US dealing with the US FDA, because if you can, and what is growth we expect from European market, American market, and Brazil market? I see the Only growth will not be the prosperity. Prosperity means profit. I have some reservation on the particularly the dividend part, because we old people rely on the dividend. I am of opinion dividend should be given in two tranches, one in February interim, one in this after the AGM. What is your call? Our women employee, if you can share that percentage of women employee, our global present at 120 countries, from the growth and profitability will come. Your capital outlay, particularly the capital expenditure in globe, what is the yield if you can give me? I will be thankful to you. Particularly the your investment in Switzerland. What is the future of that investment? When yield will come? I will here to comment of the insulin business. Vaccination will come and go, no problem. But your presence in the insulin, because you market it globally, particularly in India. What is your call on that? How you are going to research R&D and the market and the profitability? And please throw some light on that. Thank you.
Yeah, so to answer all your questions, your first question was about how do we deal, how is it to deal with US FDA? US FDA is a very stringent regulatory authority. They expect certain levels of quality systems, and obviously they come and inspect us. They inspect our quality systems, management systems. They want to make sure that you have a very good quality management system, and they want to make sure that we are compliant with what they require. And I think we have done very well, because we have got many products in the US market, especially in terms of biosimilars. We are the only company with 3 products approved by US FDA. So I think we are very familiar with what the US FDA standards are and what they need from us. When it comes to various parts of our business, I think, yes, there are lots of very good opportunities for many segments of our business. I think the insulins business is a very important and big opportunity for Biocon. We are currently selling our insulin and insulin products in many countries, almost 75 countries in the world. Patients are benefiting from our drugs. And we believe that with what we call as the interchangeability label that we expect for our insulins, it will become a very big opportunity for us even in the US. As far as US and European markets are concerned, of course, these are very important markets. And we continue to pursue all market opportunities, not just US, Europe, but also global markets. Brazil is, like you said, a very important market as well. And likewise, there are many other such markets which are very important markets for us, like Mexico, like Turkey, like in Asia Pacific regions. Malaysia is, of course, a very important market for us. And China, of course, becomes a very important market for us. So I think overall, we want to see ourselves as a global player catering to all markets. And we believe that the product portfolio that we have is a very interesting product portfolio that will help us to grow in a very enduring way. So that is as far as what I can say. We have not been able to deliberately declare dividend this year, because, as you know, there were a lot of uncertainties related to COVID, and it was prudent not to declare dividends and save that cash to invest in some of our growth opportunities that we need to. So with that, I thank you for all your good wishes and questions. And with this, I think we come to the end of the Q&A session. I would like to thank all the shareholders, directors, and other invitees for attending the 43rd Annual General Meeting. The meeting now stands concluded. Members may note that the e-voting will be available for the next 30 minutes on the KFin Technologies website. I wish you good health, safety, and I hope you are all vaccinated. I would like to request now all the directors and invitees to kindly log out. Thank you very much, and namaskara.